how to plan a training session. I don't know how you guys are planning training sessions, but let me tell you how I do it so you guys can see if this matches the way you do it. First, I want my players to warm up, right? So first thing, I'm trying to warm up. Dimitri, how do you warm up with the ball? Majorly rondos. I have lots and lots of rondos I design myself. Again, you as a coach should be able to design your own drills, your own exercises, your own rondos, whatever. So design your own exercises. So I have a lot of rondos, different rondos. I have rondos for 15 players, for 18 players, for 21 players, for 12 players, for 4 players, for 5 players. So I have lots of rondos. And I usually start my session with rondos because I want to activate my players into the most participating way so they can touch a lot of balls and be active from the beginning. So I like rondos because they mean control, passing, and moving. That's the basic for warming up for a soccer session. So that's how I start my sessions, with a warm-up. What rondos do I consider for that day? It will depend on the concepts that I'll be working on the rest of the session. So let's say my team is in the beginning of the season, and I still need my team to understand when to get the ball out of pressure from one side to the other. So I would use a rondo maybe where players have to make a movement off the ball to receive the ball in another space. For example, some kind of double rondo where there's a free space. I'm in this rondo playing here a 4v1, and there's another guy here. So I have to pass to this guy, and those two guys have to move here and support, for example, just moving the ball away from there. So it's a short version of the big concept that I want my players to learn. Okay, so I introduce my session. My session is about moving the ball out of the pressure from one side to the other, so using the width of the field. So I use that kind of rondo, for example. Then my second exercise, what is going to be my second exercise? Probably my second exercise is going to be a global exercise where this concept will repeat over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Just globally, not systemically. I don't want my players to have the game in mind yet. I just want them to have the concept in mind. I don't want to have directionality. I don't want to have a goal. I don't want to have a keeper. Nope. I just want to have the concept there, raw concept. And then I can work on the concept because I can make it go over and over again, and I can see where they're failing, what is the next step for them, so I can help them getting from where they are to the next step for them. Okay, global exercise. Then my third exercise and last exercise, probably you can make 4 exercises if you want. It'll depend. Let's say it's a warm-up and 2 more exercises. So my third exercise would probably be maybe a global plus systemic exercise, maybe another global but bigger, maybe with a goal or a keeper, or just a systemic exercise where they have to apply the concepts that they just executed in the global exercise, the second exercise, and the first exercise, the rondo. That's it. That's how I plan a session. Again, no zigzagging cones, no jumping cones, no lines, nothing of that. Forget that, please. Oh, by the way, the times in the session, right? How to plan a training session, times in the session. Okay, Dimitri, how do you divide the time you have in a session between your exercises? I do not put them exactly the time I want. For example, 15 minutes to the rondos, 25 minutes to the global, and 25 minutes to the systemic exercise. I'm going to use 3 or 4 minutes between exercises and 5 to 10 minutes to talk to them in the beginning of the session and in the end of the session, for example. I don't want to be very strict with my times because, again, time is not a measure of performance, as we've just discussed it. And more than that, I want to be open to leaving the training going on for more time if I see if it's working. For example, it's the first time I apply an exercise with my team and it's working very well. I want it to go for a little more time because I might be able to introduce even more deeper concepts into what they're doing, because they're showing me they are in a level higher than I thought they would be. So maybe I can seize that exercise to teach them a little more. Maybe they started where I thought they would start, and they got to the point where I thought they could get very quickly, And they showed me already for 5 minutes that they know that. And so I don't need that exercise anymore. So I can jump that and use the next one because it's a little more complicated. And I think this exercise, the previous exercise, is already too easy for them, maybe. So I just jumped to the next. So okay, it's been 15 minutes. I had planned this for 25, but it's not needed. Let's just move on to the next one. This doesn't happen a lot, but and also a coach has to have different ways to make their exercises more complex and less complex, just changing one or two rules, and just so that he can adapt the level of performance he wants from his players, right? So that's basically how you should plan a training session, just going from just thinking of the concept and what you want to work in your team in that day, and going from very clear situations and small situations like rondos and less complex situations, a little more complex and global situations, and maybe even more complex and systemic situations. That's how I plan my sessions, and that's how I would advise you to plan your sessions.
Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, check my other videos on the same channel, the Soccer Excellence Mentor. Lots of free content for you as a soccer coach, as a soccer player, as a soccer club. Follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, the Soccer Excellence Mentor, and let's all drive our performance towards excellence.